Hey guys, insight number 2. So we're in Helaman 14 for this one. Now, in this particular chapter, Samuel the Lamanite prophet goes over like the signs that are going to happen around Christ's birth and around Christ's death. So it's interesting to make a list of those and look at the juxtaposition of them and like what's different. And for me, like he talks about a lot of differences, but all the ones around Christ's birth are light and no darkness and wonder and amazement and stars, and that's why we celebrate, when we celebrate that at Christmas, it's also amazing and magical and very beautiful. And the things surrounding his death were darkness and no light and thunder and lightning and rocks being broken up or earthquakes. And we read about that later too in 3rd Nephi when we get to that part of it, how that happens there. We read about that over in the New Testament, how that happens there. They don't necessarily, like it gets dark and the temple veil gets torn in half, and there's some very almost destructive things. But remember again the message that the Lord tears down to rebuild in a good way, and sometimes the tearing down needs to happen to rebuild in that good way. So look at the differences. It's an interesting discussion to have with your family or your class if you're teaching a class on this one, that Christ's birth has a lot of light associated with it, and his death has a lot of darkness associated with it, and yet the true light comes from that darkness. It comes after the darkness happened, after that destruction, and the resurrection is the true bright light. So have a look at that. And the attitude of the people was not at all favorable. So how can we not be like this to our prophets' messages? Because they heard all this stuff and they were like, nah. Some were really into it. Some believed, some just most did not. And these signs are here to help you and help them believe that Jesus is the Christ. So what things strengthen your belief in Jesus? What things about this message, about the signs of his birth and the signs of his death, strengthen your belief in Jesus? Because that's what they're there for. They're not to convince us he's the Christ. That's our own testimonies that we get. But what can we do to strengthen our belief that Jesus is actually capable of these things, What are these signs here? I love in just particularly 5 through 7. And behold, there shall be a new star arise, such as one as ye never have beheld, and this also a sign shall be a sign unto you. And behold, this is not all. There shall be many signs and wonders in heaven. And it shall come to pass that ye shall be amazed and wonder, insomuch that ye shall fall to the earth. And I'm like, yeah, I'd love to see that. I think that would be very cool. And the people that were largely misbelieving and unbelieving when this event happened, I think they would have fallen to the earth, and I think I probably would have been one of them. Even if I was believing, I would just be like, oh my gosh, it's actually real, and it's beyond my wildest imagination. And that was just his birth. His atonement and his resurrection is even more bright, even more incredible, even more amazing, even more incomprehensible of what it actually means to us and for us. So look at these signs. These signs of wonders for his birth and death there are there for a reason. So what do you take from that? What's significant about it? What things do you pull from it? So have that discussion this week. That's chapter 14. There's some really good things in there. And, the differences you can have and believe on his name. And, this is so wonderful differences. Just have a look. All right. Hang around. We're going to go look at chapter 15, verse 3, and discuss how chastisement's actually love. I'll see you there.